So today I've got an exciting video for you guys. Today we're going to take a look at the top 10 stocks for July. This video is done in partnership with Stockopedia, and these are 10 stocks that they think are interesting opportunities for the next 12 months, and maybe stocks for you to have a little bit more of a research on, and gives you some ideas for some new stocks. Now, I'm sure most of you guys are aware I'm a big fan of Stockopedia. I use the platform quite often in my videos. So for example, I've done probably like 5 videos on Hollywood Bowl in like the last 2 weeks. And in those videos, you'll see quite often I'm using Stockopedia. It's a great website that provides a lot of information like future revenue growth from analysts, future profit growth, ratios, P ratios, forward P ratios. So yeah, I'm a big fan. It gives me a lot of information that I find useful when I'm researching a lot of my stocks. And if you do want to join Stockopedia, I do have a link in the description. I'll also put it in the comment section. And if you do join through that link, you do get 25% off Stockopedia. If you do click that link, it'll take you onto this page here with this lovely looking person there on that page, and you can click this claim that offer, and you'll get 25% off Stockopedia. But today we're not looking at this and information on stocks that I own. We're going to take a look at Stockopedia's top stocks for July. Now, they have sent a little bit more information about what this is. So if we look here, in this context, we are excited to present Stockopedia's top stocks for July 2025. A set of 10 UK shares drawn from the market sectors using Stockopedia's rigorous stock ranks. I don't know if you've seen that before, but that's this score system that they've created on this right side of this page. Gives you a bit of a rating on how much they like the stock from the information that they can pull up. And what it also is using is a filtered further to show those shares with positive trading momentum. So stocks that are also doing like ahead of market expectations updates. So a company comes out, says, oh, we're ahead of expectations. Quite often because of that, the market is catching up and they have good jumps in the share price because like, oh, they're actually going to do this now. It's a lot better than what we was expecting. And quite often we see the shares react very positive to that. Example of that you might have seen on before on the YouTube channel is the likes of Supreme. That was a stock that constantly brought out ahead of expectations updates, and we saw how well Supreme performed for us. That was a 100% return for us. They've also tried to provide a variety of different stocks for investor styles. Last year's top 10 stocks that were selected in June 2024 have now returned over 25%. They can't guarantee the same results from the previous list. Obviously, past performance is not an indication of future success, but they also hopefully provide some interesting points for you to do further research. So if we do have a look at the last 10 stocks that were picked, this was the video here, which was posted on June the 7th. The 10 stocks that previously were selected, one of them was Sir Abia Gold. I hope I said that correctly. What a performer this was, up 100 and, whoa, it just jumped. It was 162%. It's now 167%. 167% in the last year. I don't actually know this company that well myself, but I assume that because of the success of gold in the last couple of years, this is probably one of the stocks that is doing really well. Because of that, I'm sure they were a company that provided a head of market expectations update last year as well. The second stock was Renault. I know this one was a little bit popular on the Discord group as well, and this one also returned 34%. Smith's News, this hasn't performed as well, but still around about 2% down. Although I'm sure if you factor in that lovely dividend, to be fair, that would have obviously helped the gains as well. The next one is McBride PLC. This returned 13% in the last year. We also had TP Group. This returned 35% and also a lovely dividend there as well. We have GMS. This returned 35% in the last year. We had OPG Power Ventures. This is down 22%, so one of the less performing of the bunch, but I'm sure we can excuse that with how good some of these other ones have performed. We've got MTI Wireless Edge. This has returned 27%, and as well as that, a lovely 5% dividend yield on top. One that I'm sure many people know, this is one of the more well-established companies at a 59 billion market cap, and GSK returned around about a -4%, but you do have the dividend on top. And the last one is actually one that I own, which is Airtel Africa. Airtel Africa returned 55%, and as well as that, if you do add a little bit of dividend on top, that's been a very good performer in the last year, and my accountant knows that as well, because it's been one that's done really well for me in the last year. So those were the 10 stocks that was actually posted on the last year list, and you can see here there's been some of the stocks that have performed very well, and a diverse list as well. You know, you got some stocks that are international, UK based, some that pay dividend, some that are a bit more of a spec stock, some that are more established stocks, and you can see here great points to have a bit more of a research on some of these stocks. But very quickly now, what we're going to do is we're going to jump to the list for this year's stocks. So we do have the ones that have been selected for this year. Starting with the first one that I've chosen to show you guys, which is Currys. So this is referred to as a speculative stock, but it does have, as you can see, a stock rank of 96. Currys is a well known here as an omnichannel retailer of consumer technology, also having another brand as well across in the Nordics with a network of over 700 stores. Growing online presence, it sells everything from laptops to washing machines and supports customers with repairs, recycling, and even mobile contracts. The past year has been impressive turnarounds for story. Currys ended financial year 25 on a strong note, with full year adjusted profit before tax expected to come in at 162 million, up 37% year on year, ahead of guidance. There we go, that we have the trading ahead of expectations there. Group sales grew 2%, but more telling is growing momentum. 4% in the last 17 weeks, with both the UK, Ireland and Nordics showing improved trading. And then we get some of the bull points and some of the bear points. Repeated earnings upgrades and margin recovery, strong cash generation and net cash balance. Valuation remains low on 11 times PE and 9% free cash flow yield. It does give you some bear points as well, with exposure to consumer spending. They still have FX risk and still a low margin business model. If we were to flick onto Stockopedia and we were to have a little bit more detailed look into Currys and how it's going on, you can see here the stock rank of 96, and you can see here the past performance. The revenue growth has started to come back here. The net profit is also starting to move back up in the right direction, as you can see here. And then we have 10 times earnings or 9 times 2027's numbers. So yeah, it looks like a bit of a turnaround from Currys going on here. And if you think that the Currys turnaround story can continue and the momentum of that share price carries on, could be an interesting opportunity to look at. The second stock I'm going to show you on this list is a company called Genio. Now, I know of this company because Matty on the Discord, he's a big fan of this one. And I believe he actually got the idea from this one from Stockopedia, and he's been in this one for the last couple of months and maybe even a little bit longer himself. But Genio is a stock that I have a bit more information. I know this one quite well because of Matty, and I know that these guys have been winning a lot of contracts, and because of them winning these contracts, it's led them to do quite well financially. So what they do is they build smart technology for buses, trains and public spaces, everything from onboard CCTV to passenger displays and back-end data systems. If you've been to a bus stop recently, I'm sure you have, you've seen that this line of information on the screens at bus stops or train stations, more than likely it will have been provided by Genio. The company has now notched its 5th year of growth. Revenues were up 8% in 2024, with profit before tax climbing 35%. That's always beautiful when that profit is growing faster than the revenue. Margins improved too, helped by easing supply chains and more high margin software linked products. That's the great thing, is that you provide this hardware and then you get the software on top that really expands your profit margins. Recurring revenue, a key driver of stability, grew 40%. Genio ended the year with 14 million of cash and zero net debt, which is obviously having a clean balance sheet is also a beautiful thing to have. Brokers at Cavendish remain upbeat, highlighting that the group looks compelling on a financial year 25 earnings adjusted P of 10. Wow, that is quite cheap. Versus peers on 17, and pointing to a price target of £4.70, well above the current price. The company also has more than a third of its market cap held in cash. That's always important to look at the cash and potentially weigh that up, taking it off the market cap, because that can be used for dividend share buybacks. Looking at some bull points, recurring revenue up 40%. That's really good. High margin, subscription style income growing fast, 14 million of cash and no debt. Trading at attractive valuation compared to peers. Bear points, US orders resumed, but delays remain. I guess that's probably over the tariff situation. Complex rollouts, and despite strong cash flows, no payout for shareholders. So let's have a quick look at Journeo on the Stockopedia page. And once again, we can see the stock rank score of 93. Looking at the growth, yeah, I mean, look at that. That's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Net profit, that looks really attractive as well, moving up in the right direction. And we can see here the bump up in the share price recently. Maybe if they keep doing market ahead of expectations updates, that momentum can continue. And in fact, you know what? I've always not really paid attention to this one and done that much research on it, but I gotta say, after reading this report on Stockopedia, I think, you know, if this is 10 times earnings and that subscription model is actually growing for them, it's maybe one that I need to have a little bit more of a research in as well. So that's the great thing, is that you just get some fresh ideas to look at some new stocks potentially going forward. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that one. So those are 2 of the top 10 stocks on this year's list. If you do want to go get the other 8 stocks, then what you have to do, guys, is you have to go into the description or the comment section, click that link, get 25% off Stockopedia. Once you're on that page, sign up, and then you can get the rest of these stocks to have a take a look at. But as you can see here, those are 2 of the 10 that I chose, and they're certainly interesting ones. And obviously, if you sign up, then it gives you another 8 interesting stocks to have a bit more of a significant look at. So thanks for watching, guys. Thank you to Stockopedia for the information as well, and hope you enjoyed it. See you in a bit.